What's up everyone? In this video we're going to be building out the contact section of the property detail screen. So let's get started. First thing we need to do is go to our properties and add in some new properties into each property object. So those properties are going to be a phone number and a website. So I'm going to add some different phone numbers and different websites to the first 5 properties. So with those 5 added, I also noticed that we have a minor typo within our properties, and that is for bedroom low. We have 3 O's, so I'm just going to fix that on here and also within our types and any components that use this certain property. So let's do Control F and Control H, and we would like to change bedroom with 3 O's to bedroom with 2 O's. So I'm just going to press enter for all those. Now I just need to go to my property types. And here I'm going to get rid of an O. And then I'm going to go here and search for bedroom low. And it's in card information. So let's just change that. And I also noticed here that if this is 0, then we would actually want to say studio. So let's just change that real quickly. So bedroom low is equal to 0, question mark, then studio, else property dot bedroom low. Okay, cool. So now that we have that fixed and we have our properties made, let's create a new section. So go to our components, then go to our property details sections, and create a new file called contact section.tsx. And for our imports, let's import text and button, style sheet, view, touchable opacity, and share, and material, community icons, and material icons, and then import theme, row, and property. And let's also import use navigation, and then let's create our component. It's going to take one prop, which is going to be a property of the type property, and then let's create our navigation variable and return an empty fragment for now. Now let's go back into our property detail screen and just import this. So import contact section, and let's put it underneath the about section, passing in the property, and then put a divider underneath that. Alright, now let's navigate back to our contact section, and then let's create our styles variable down below. Now the first thing that we'll want to return is going to be a text component with the category of H5, and we'll give it a style of default margin vertical, and that style will simply have a margin vertical of 10. And then next we would like to have a blue piece of text with the phone number. So let's create a touchable opacity, and then within that we'll create a row with a material icon with the name of smartphone, the color of theme, color-info 500, and a size of 16. And then next to that we'll have some text which has a category of C1 and a status of info, and it will call another function which will be called format phone number, which just formats the phone number. So outside of our component here, let's create format phone number. It'll take in a string, and then it will format it so that it is a valid phone number. And if it's not going to be a valid phone number, then we will just return give us a call as the alternative. Now let's go and create the call phone number function. So let's go to our utils down here, and we'll create a new file called call phone number. So the first thing we want to do is import everything as linking from expo-linking. Then we'll create a function called clean phone number, which takes in a string. And if the character at 0 is equal to a plus and the character at 1 is equal to 1, then we will loop through every character after the first 2 and append them to a new string. and then we will return that. Otherwise, we will just return the passed in string. And then down below, we will export our call phone number function, which will take in a string, and then we'll call linking.openURL, and then we'll pass in TEL followed by a colon, and then we will pass in the phone number to our clean phone number function. So let's go back here to contact section and import call phone number. And now let's save that. And now let's add the styles of row and row text. So row is going to have align items to center and padding vertical of 5, and row text will have a margin left of 10. Now underneath of this touchable opacity, we'll create another touchable opacity for the website. On the onPress event, we will create a function called openURL. And within this touchable opacity, let's pass in a row. And then we'll render a material community icon with the name of web, color of color-info 500, and size of 16. And next to that, we will have some text which says view property website, category is C1, and status is info. And we'll give it that row text. Now let's go create openURL. So it will be another utility. So we'll go here, openURL.ts. And the first thing we need to do is import everything as web browser from expo-web-browser. Export const openURL, and it will take in a string. And then we'll create a variable called prefix, which is just going to be an empty string. And if the URL doesn't include https:// we need to add that to our prefix. And if it doesn't include www. Then the prefix also needs to have that. And then we will call the open browser async method from web browser and pass in the prefix with the URL. So we'll save that, go back to our contact section and import openURL from our utils. And now let's save that. And as you can see, you can also use linking.openURL, but that's going to take you out of the app, and that's really not a good user experience. They even go over this in the Expo documentation, so if you want to look at that, go ahead and check it out. Now underneath of the website text, let's create a row of 2 buttons. So we'll first create a row, and then we'll have our first button with the appearance of Ghost, and it will say tour, and the next button will also have an appearance of Ghost, and it will say message. Now for both of these, whenever they get pressed, we'll go to a message screen, which we'll create in another video, and depending on which is pressed, we will pass in different parameters. So let's create these styles for button and button row. So button row is going to have justify content as space between and a padding vertical of 10, and button will have a border color of our color-primary-500, a border width of 1, and a width of 45%. So let's save those and check them out. And there we go. So with our screen created, let's test out the contact and the view property website. So here, if we press on that, we'll go to our phone, and we can call this number, but I'm not going to. And then we can navigate back, and if we view the property website, it'll come up within our app. And let's check it out for another property. So like this, go to view property website, and we will get taken to Zillow.com. So that's how you guys can create the contact section. Stay tuned for the next video where we will be pausing development on the property details screen, and we will begin and finish the message screen. So I hope that you guys enjoyed this, and thank you for watching.